Some people love the Inferno and some others say that it's overrated. I'm going to show you why this is one of my favorite power paddles that I've played with this year. What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be back with another paddle review. Today we're going to be reviewing the Pro 4 Inferno from Luzz Pickleball. Quick disclaimer, Luzz did send me this paddle to test out and make a video on. They didn't have any input on what I thought about the paddle. Everything's going to be completely my own thoughts. I'm going to be going over a little bit of breakdown of the construction of the paddle. Going to be going over the power numbers, what I liked about it, who I think it's for, and if I really think that this is one of the best power paddles to come. I did get a discount code if you guys would like to use that. If you're interested in buying one of these, code is going to be down below. Use code PICKLEPICK. It'll get you 10% off your order. This paddle does start at about $230, so with that code drops it to right around $200. And I want to give a very big shout out to Luzz for sending me this paddle. I really do appreciate it, and now we're going to get right into the review. So the Luzz Pro 4 Inferno comes in one shape. It's going to be the elongated, and it's also a very different construction than most foam paddles that are on the market today. The Luzz Pro 4 Inferno uses MPP foam, which stands for microporous polymer. MPP foam is going to give just a little bit more pop and also going to have a little bit more resilience, a little bit more durability than a normal EPP foam that you're going to see in a lot of other Gen 4 paddles. Also has a raw carbon fiber T700 face, which, if you can hear, it is pretty gritty. I was really surprised with that. I'm also going to show the stock numbers for my unit. You can pause the video real quick if you want to look at those. So my first impressions of the paddle, I mean, this thing looks so nice. It just has a nice color gradient edge guard, just a very simple design, but a very sleek and clean design, which I really appreciate. I can't stand paddles that just have a bunch of stuff going on the face, especially when they put designs and it doesn't have grit on it, which it doesn't have grit on it, but it really doesn't take anything away from the actual grittiness of the paddle in the face. Like I said, it's got a really gritty face. Honestly, one of the grittiest paddles that I think that I've played with ever. I don't have a huge experience of playing with a lot of paddles, but I really was impressed with the grit level on this paddle from the get-go, and it hasn't let me down yet. Since this is a power paddle, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the power levels. I would definitely say this is the most powerful paddle that I've ever played with. I don't have a huge experience of playing with a lot of other paddles, but it is one of the, if not the most powerful paddle that I've ever used. The overheads just were super easy to hit. I was trying to generate as much power as I could, and this thing was giving me even more power to work with, which I thought was pretty crazy. Really, in my opinion, does not have as much pop as I was expecting. A lot of people say that this paddle plays very stiff and it's very poppy. From what I've played with, it didn't have as much pop as I was expecting. It did still have a very good amount of pop off of the face. You could just hold the paddle out on a counter or a block and the ball is flying. But I was a little underwhelmed by the pop, which is a good thing for me, and I think is a good thing for the paddle. I think if you have a lot of power and a lot of pop, it's very hard to control. Now getting into more of the sweet spot. At first, I didn't see that it had a huge sweet spot whenever I was playing with it, but I think as time went on, I got a little more accustomed to the sweet spot. I've been trying a lot of different paddle shapes, so that could have just been my own, personal feel, since I haven't been playing with elongated as much lately. But it has a pretty good sweet spot for an elongated, better sweet spot in elongated that I've played with before. But the sweet spot is fairly forgiving. Since it is an elongated paddle, hitting it on the edges is going to be a little bit jarring in the hands, just because these paddles you're not supposed to hit it on the edge. So I was able to tell when I got a mishit. Outside of that, the sweet spot I think is a little bit above average. So now a little bit into more of the control. Since it is a power paddle, I think it will take a little bit of time to dial in the control, but after a few games, especially whenever you first play with it, it's a little bit stiffer. A few games is all it took for me to break it in. That was, maybe an hour of gameplay, and it got a little bit softer, a little bit easier to control. But even out of the box, the control was very surprising. With a power paddle, you don't expect to have a lot of control because you're sacrificing that for power, which is what you would expect. But this, I was actually able to control a lot more on the soft game, and it really upped my confidence up there at the kitchen. I was a lot more confident hitting dinks and especially more of those softer shots. So now getting into more of the spin. As soon as I got this paddle, the face texture was super gritty, and I was really interested to see how good the spin would be, and especially on my slice shots. My backhand is pretty weak, so I like to slice the ball a lot more than I probably should. So it gave me a chance to really test out the spin. And the ball would drop and kick immediately, especially on topspin shots. I noticed the spin the most. So the spin on this paddle is pretty elite. I have heard from other reviewers that the degradation of the face or the grit texture is pretty extreme. I've been playing with this for the past 2 weeks. I haven't noticed any type of spin drop off. I think with any paddle, you play with it and it has, crazy feel off the first couple games, and then as it breaks in, it starts to get a little bit softer and a little bit more predictable. But I haven't noticed any type of degradation after playing with it for 2 weeks straight. The feel of this paddle is what really draws me towards it. It doesn't really feel like your normal power paddle. Like I've played with the SLK Era from Selkirk and the Rhombus Quanta, and those are 2 different generations of paddles, but they feel fairly similar. This is a very unique paddle that I haven't had the chance to play with, and I just think that the feel of this is very unique. It is a little stiffer, I will say that. It's stiff at first, but just playing a couple games will soften it up and really enhance the feel. It's a little bit of comparison to other paddles that I've played with. I think this is one of the highest power paddles that I've played with, and that's just subjective to me just because I don't have a lot of experience with other paddles. But the power on this compared to the SLK Era or the Rhombus Quanta, I think this one beats it out. So now on to some pros and cons of the paddle. Some pros, like I've said before, it's got a lot of power, but not as much power that it can't be controlled. I think it's a very balanced paddle. With that raw carbon fiber face, it has a lot of spin potential, and I think especially in the intermediate level, you could become a weapon with this paddle in your hands. Really, onto the cons. Personally, I don't really see anything wrong with the performance of this paddle. Like I said, there's been some people saying that the spin kind of degrades a little bit over time. I haven't experienced that quite yet. Some people get upset with the edge guard, but I feel like that can be pretty easily fixed with edge tape. Really, performance-wise, I don't think that there's anything wrong with this paddle. Over time, I could find something out, and also me playing bad with the paddle is going to be more my own fault than anything. So cons, I don't really have a whole lot to say. I would say it does take a little bit of time to get used to the paddle since it's a little bit unique feeling. But anything performance-wise, I don't think there's anything bad to say. Final thoughts on the Luzz Pro 4 Inferno. It's a very exciting and fun paddle to play with. Has a lot of power, but enough to where you can control it after playing with it for a few games. Has a lot of spin potential, and I would say that this paddle would be the best for intermediate players, more towards the intermediate to advanced. If you are a beginner, I wouldn't recommend this paddle for you off the rip. I would give you a couple of months with some other paddles to get down some other shots, but over time I think this paddle will set itself as one of the best powered paddles. Alright guys, that's going to be it for the review today. Like I said, if you want to pick yourself up a Luzz Pro 4 Inferno, use my code PicklePick. It does give me a small commission. It's going to be a 10% off code, bringing it down to $200. If you would like for me to review any other paddles in the future, drop them down in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.